Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to day 5 of the 31 Days of Horror. D-Bougie86 back up in this. And today I have a film that was released through Lionsgate under the Ghost House Underground. Ghost House Underground is a sublabel of Ghost House Pictures, which is owned by like Sam Raimi. They produced a few films on their own, they're most notably known for like the Grudge films, the remake series that's been going on with those, and also I believe Drag Me From Hell is also part of the Ghost House Pictures banner. But Ghost House Underground released a lot of like different types of like indie films. It's kind of the way I would describe it. It's kind of like the After Dark Horror Fest, but with other films in mind, and some of them are better than others, kind of like the After Dark Horror Fest line that Lionsgate also put out. And this one is titled Trackman, from 2007. The thing I like about the Ghost House Underground DVDs is they have these awesome slipcovers where, as you can see, it has the logo on it, and if you take it off, it's just a regular DVD, but it's part of the actual slipcover, the actual logo for the brand per se. Now, Trackman was a very interesting one. I used to watch. I seen this. I believe it was on FearNet when FearNet was a thing. I seen a lot of these like early 2000 movies or late 2000 movies on FearNet at the time period, because that's what we had. It was kind of like my horror thing for like on demand. It's where I saw a lot of like these foreign movies that I didn't get to see anywhere else at the time because they were always on FearNet. Trackman is a Russian film, and pretty much the setup of Trackman is it starts off with a bank robbery. This group of men hold a bank hostage, steal the money, kill a few people on the way because it kind of goes haywire right away. They take a few hostages with them, and they end up going subterranean through the catacombs of Russia, pretty much, and they go into the sewer system. While they're in the sewer system, this is what their getaway route was in the beginning with. One of the main dudes who set up the robbery is starting to think maybe shit's not going well because his partner that he set up the robbery with in the beginning was supposed to meet them, and he's not there. But something else is lurking in the woods, and we find out that there's this underground dwelling man dressed up like a trackman, like a miner kind of character, underground, and he's hunting them one by one. That is pretty much the basic synopsis for Trackman. Now, my thoughts on the film. I actually kind of enjoy this film. I kind of like the aspect that these kind of characters that we're following are kind of not the nicest people in the world. They're bank robbers. I like that aspect. The hostages are the innocent bystanders, of course, throughout this, and some of them make it, some of them don't. It kind of reminds me of the aspect of a film that I like from the 80s known as Scarecrows, where it's kind of the same setup. Bank robbers, they get away with a robbery, but something happens that gets haywire. They get stuck in a situation, and shit ensues. Same thing happens here, but I like movies that are set like underground. I like that aspect of like horror movies in general. They don't make enough of them in that setting, and this one benefits with using its setting in the way. With the slasher tropes, they are generic, in that aspect. But I like how this one plays out with its kills and gore in that sense where, this guy's using a giant pickaxe as his murder weapon, Harry Warden style, per se. And he's just going around killing these bank robbers who are the dumbest people in the world when they're in the wrong situation that's not up to their usual bystander situation per se. Uh, there's only there's only a main group of people. There's not really any other people that get victimized in this movie. But the thing that interests me enough about this film, and I kind of wish they kind of dwelled a little bit more on, is the history of the Trackman. We actually get to reveal who the Trackman is at the end of the movie. I wish they built up to it more, where we find out a little more hints about his backstory per se. That is probably my major fault of the film in general, where you get really no backstory on the killer. And usually a lot of the slashers that I love have a great backstory of what the killer's about and what he's doing in this situation, and why he's there. And it's kind of weird when we find out the reveal why he's actually there at this present time and doing what he's doing in that sense. But overall, mindless fun. It only runs like 80 minutes. It doesn't overstay its welcome. I kind of dig this movie, for a Russian horror film, which I've seen a lot of Russian horror films, and some of them are kind of like out there, like very art house, like abstract horror in that sense. And I like how this one is kind of down to basics in its story, in that sense. Really fun film. I really dig this one. Like I said, mindless fun for me, this one. Doesn't need a full-length story, but I like the aspect where we're following not so good characters in this one. It's just, there's some good characters, the hostages, who also have turmoil between their situation per se, and I like that aspect of it. It's the same reason I like movies like Deep Rise and others, because you have turmoil within the group, and I like that situation that dwells into this movie. If I had to rate it, I'm going to give it a solid 7 out of 10. I really dig Trackman for what it is, but it's not going to break any new ground in, a subgenre of horror. It's a slasher film, but it does a little things that keep it kind of interesting with its plot. And, don't watch the dub. It comes actually with the English dub. It's pretty bad. I watched it in original Russian language. Really good stuff. So Trackman, yeah, check that one out. Alright guys, that's it for day 5. I hope you enjoy it, and I'll be back tomorrow with another one for you guys. Peace.